Hey everybody, welcome to the Save File Scoreboard podcast. This is your host, Gyroid Gaming, with my co-host,
Adam the Atomizer.
And today we are going to be reviewing some games. So, Atomizer, why don't you go ahead and explain the concept of this podcast?
Sure. So, basically what's going on here is we're going to be looking at older games. Doesn't matter what console they're on, if they're on PC, and we're going to be ranking them based on predetermined categories that we decided. So, there are 4 categories, each worth up to 25 points. The first is gameplay. That basically is how fun the game is to play, in our opinion. Originality, which is how different or original the game feels from other games in its time, or even just games in its same lineup, like in the same series. There's the overall feel, which includes the graphics, the audio, the controls. It's similar to gameplay, but on a more mechanical side. And then replayability, which is a measure of how willing you'd be to play the game again. And we take those scores, we add them up, and then from there, we put them on a tier list based on how high they scored.
So yeah, the tier list goes from F tier, 0 to 10. Those are the games that are basically just a bunch of dog crap. You would never want to play this game again. Then there's D tier, 11 through 25. Those games are they're pretty bad, but you could still play it, I guess. It's not like the worst thing in the world. If you're bored, it's better than being bored. And then you got C tier, 26 to 50. Those are there's going to be a lot of games in there. They're just not that great, but they're okay. Then you got B tier. This is probably where a lot of games will live. We got 51 to 75. Those ones are, they're pretty good. They're nothing out of the ordinary. They're just kind of run-of-the-mill games, but they're fun. You like them. There's A tier, 76 to 90. Those ones are top tier, top shelf quality goods there. But they're not something that everybody has to play or everybody's going to love. It's just something that is really good. And then there's S tier, 91 to 100. Those ones are the top, the best of the best. They are peak video games. And without further ado, let's get into our personal experiences with this game. Atomizer, why don't you start and tell us about how you did.
So, in my gameplay, I was able to beat all 6 of the Mario Party 7 Solo Cruise maps. And while this did take me about 2 hours total, I did lose the first round to Birdo. This is going to sound so bad, but I got flattened in 4 turns. But that being said, I was able to win everything else, and luck was mostly on my side, but there were times where it just was not on my side.
Yeah, I definitely felt the same way with my gameplay. I only played the first half of the story mode. I played the first 3 boards, and when I played it, I lost the first one. I got absolutely crushed. Didn't get a single star. Toad just destroyed me. And then the next 3 I won all in a row. But there were some pretty close calls there, especially on the first board. But yeah, that's what we did in our playthroughs for this week. So now let's get on to the ratings. Starting with gameplay. How much fun do you have playing the game? I'll go first. So, I'm going to be rating this not just on the solo play, but on the actual game itself. Because, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't really have a ton of fun playing the story mode. It felt a little too luck-based for me. I know it's a Mario Party game, and I know it's luck-based, but in regular gameplay, a lot of times the mini-games, there's a lot more mini-games, there's a lot more determination on skill, and in the story mode, you play 1 to 3 mini-games total. It's only if someone lands in the dual space, and I just got very unlucky, didn't really have a fun time with being lucky, so but the actual game itself, playing with friends, playing with family members, is such a fun time. So despite the solo mode, in my opinion, being a bit lacking, I do really enjoy playing the game itself. with family and friends. Growing up, it was actually one of my favorite games to play like multiplayer with. So there's also a bunch of other fun modes that I'm not going to describe here because that's for later on down the video. But I'm going to give it a 22 out of 25. Atomizer, why don't you go ahead and give yours?
22 out of 25 isn't bad. So my experience with it, with gameplay wise, like, you're gonna hear this a lot in the video based on just my personal notes, but like it's a Mario Party game. It plays the same as like any other Mario Party game, but I find it really fun. That could just be my childhood nostalgia talking, cause like Gyroid said, I also grew up on this game like a lot. Like, from my point of view, the pace is a little bit faster than the other entries, like, but it's comfortably fast. Like, you're not rushing through it every single second. But that being said, like, I only have like 2 real complaints about this. The first being that duels, there's a slight chance where you could just hit nothing. Like, straight up, if you win, you couldn't like just not steal anything from your opponent. But that could also be a saving grace in that, like, if you somehow slip up your gameplay in a duel minigame, then the NPC could just roll nothing as well, and then it saves your bacon. So, well, that balances itself out. The other one is that, like, spoilers ahead for anyone who wants to play this game, but for Bowser's Enchanted Inferno, the final game board for the solo mode, there's this mechanic for the Bowser minigame where you are trying to get to the 100th floor, and you could get really far, and it saves your progress, how high you get. So that's good, but it's not individually based. If, say, I'm playing the minigame, I got to floor 95. Oh, I'm so high up, but then I lose. The computer could just swing by with their star, pick up from my floor 95, survive 5 floors, and then just win. Like, it's...
Yikes.
Yeah, that part I really don't like. But the minigame itself is fun. So, those complaints in mind, my score for gameplay is 23 out of 25.
Yeah, I never actually made it all the way there. As a kid, I did. I didn't really realize that was a problem with the Bowser board. But yeah, that's got to be so annoying if someone actually does that to you.
It is. I think it almost actually happened to me during my gameplay.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't doubt it with the way the luck goes in this game. Alright, let's move on to originality. Do you want to start first in this one?
Yeah, I'll start first. So, like Gyroid said for the last category about judging the whole game, this is the one where I'm going to be judging the whole game. So, like, this game for me is extremely unique compared to the other ones, but it's still a Mario Party game. Like, the ones that stand out to me include this 8-player mode where, given the fact that it's a GameCube game, if you had 8 friends in the same room, you could share controllers. Like, someone holds the left side, someone holds the right side, breaks up in like 4 teams of 2, and like it'd just be utter chaos. And I had so much fun playing that mode, even though I didn't have 8 friends. I would just like control both players on the controller simultaneously and play that way. And my second thing about the originality of the game is the more in-depth use of the microphone. So I get that Mario Party 6, the previous entry, had limited use of the microphone. I couldn't tell you what they did, but it wasn't a lot. But with this game, they had the mic spaces on the game board where you could double your coins if you get the right fruits on the cards. And just the mic mini games in general that could just pop up at random times. Just throw the game for a loop. And honestly, those are just pretty fun. Like, and then my final thing for originality is the orb system. It's not the first game to use orbs, but it is the one that has the most user-friendly orb system. So Mario Party 6, they just used the character silhouettes for the spaces. So they made Luigi's blue in that game, and because I guess Yoshi was green, but it made it hard for me to keep track of whenever I played the game. But Mario Party 5, they didn't even like do anything like that. There were no character-specific orbs. They just placed down and there was a little icon on the space. You could get hit by your own orb. But with Mario Party 7, they made it so that when you place an orb on a space, or they show the character's logo, icon, or whatever to make it actually, you could tell it's your space. So those three things are what make the originality stand out to me, even though it is a Mario Party game, so it's not too original. That's the only reason I'm not giving it a perfect score here. I'm giving this a 21 out of 25.
Yeah, I do agree that there's no possible way that we can give it a perfect score on originality, just purely based off of it is a Mario Party game, so it is a formulaic game. There is a formula to how it's made. They're all pretty much the same, but with slight variations. Although I will piggyback on what you said about some of the originality features. Having 8 players by using 2 people per controller, that was very unique. I have never seen that in a game before or since then, I don't think. I can't think of an idea. Yeah, I was going to say, I can't think of any idea like that.
Literally never.
So that one was a pretty fun way to play the game, and I also did the thing where you play both players at the same time. I feel like anyone who's played this game as a kid had to have done that. There's no way you don't just control both players.
Exactly.
And then orbs, they were okay. Like I do appreciate they had like special orbs per player. So like if you're playing Mario, you can earn an orb that gives you fireballs. If you're Toad, you have a one that's a triple mushroom. That is a good concept. Although
that's right,
in execution, some of the orbs were like the orb distribution and luck sometimes is annoying. Like during my playthrough on my first match, Toad just kept getting the type of orbs where if you place it down in a space, you anytime someone passes that space, it takes 10 coins from them. And he made what I called Death Alley, where he just blocked off an entire like section of the board with multiple of those in a row. And I feel like if the luck distribution was a little bit better, maybe he would have gotten regular things. I mostly got triple mushrooms, to be completely honest, during that time. Like, that was all I got, was just triple mushrooms, which is also... It was fine in some situations, but, like, I would have also liked to trap him with losing coins. So that one... So, orbs are good. They're just... I feel like the luck distribution could be fixed a little bit. But, I mean, overall, it was still pretty good. And compared to other games in its series, it is definitely a standout. And so that's why I gave it a 20 out of 25. Next, we're going to move on to overall feel. So I will go first on this one. So for overall feel, I judge it based off of like the atmosphere of the game and like how it controls. And we're going to be saying this a lot this episode, but it's a Mario Party game. The controls, pretty simple. You pick a direction, you click A, and you go that way. There's not much to it. So that I'm not basing it off the board game play. I'm basing it off the mini game plays for the controls at least. And the controls in the mini games, I feel like pretty intuitive. I was also a kid and I knew all the mini games, so that could be part of my bias. But I feel like most mini games were pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to figure out, and very intuitive, which adds some points to it. And just the overall atmosphere of the game was so much fun. Like, some Mario Party games kind of feel all over the place, but this game I feel like had good theming, good, like, overall continuity. And with that, I'm going to give overall feel a 23 out of 25.
Interesting. Okay, so I believe it's my turn about overall feel now. So I'm gonna piggyback off what Gyro just said about it's a Mario Party game. Like, pick a direction, you go A. Not that hard. So I'm gonna judge this based off of like, well, I don't want to use the exact same words, but pretty much the exact same stuff that he judged it on. So I'm gonna start with the audio. Like, the soundtrack during my gameplay, I found myself just vibing to the soundtrack and like not even commentating on anything that was going on the screen, just because like I'm very musically oriented, so when I hear a good soundtrack, I'm just like having a great time. So that definitely enhanced my gameplay experience. as for the controls, you push A, you move in a direction. So minigame wise, they did a good job hitting, using every aspect of the GameCube controller. Like, there are some games where you have to push a series of buttons, and there are some games where you mash the A button. I think you actually once made a video on that one time.
Yeah, that's one of my most popular ones. How to mash the A button fast, pretty much.
Yeah. So, anyway, I got distracted. So, they did a good job making the gameplay intuitive without making it too complicated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely how I feel.
And as for the graphics of this game, for its time, it definitely feels really smooth. So, I'm mostly comparing it to when they first broke onto the GameCube with Mario Party 4. Like, the intro cutscene for that game specifically was utterly hilarious, because they didn't know what they were doing, and it looked like they were just like little models waving around their hands with sticks. There are no joints whatsoever. So that's just like a fun memory for me. But, like, all these things combined, I would give this category a 22 out of 25. Given that it is a Mario Party game.
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. And now for the replayability section. I'll go first in this one again. So, replayability, for the solo mode, I'm excluding solo mode just because I didn't really enjoy it. Like I said earlier, it's okay, it's kind of fun, but it got a bit too luck based, and I was kind of just getting bored because you kind of just sit there and press A. But for the actual game itself, like the multiplayer party, the 8-player mode, the mini games, even like the little mini game like modes, like there's like a King of the Logs or whatever. It's like King of the Hill, but you sitting on a river with logs. Like all those like side games and stuff. I used to spend like hours playing with my siblings on those games. So just replayability was one of the top games that I would play over and over again with my siblings growing up. And I feel the same way. If I had people around me who wanted to play Mario Party 7, I would say yes, I would play. It's pretty good for me. I enjoyed it, so in that regard, I'm giving it a 25 out of 25.
Alright, replayability. I agree with a lot of the things that he just said. Like, although I'm actually going to be including the solo mode here, because while the 8-player mode and the minigame modes are just like wicked fun to play with friends and family and such like that, the solo mode for me is a replayability concept in and of itself, because every time you play it, it keeps track of how many turns it takes to beat each board, and it counts them up and puts them on a leaderboard for everyone who's played solo mode. So, if I'm bored, I could just come back to Mario Party 7 even when I'm on my own, and just try to beat my old score or improve it. So I find that a draw into it as well. So given that, in addition to what he said, I'm giving this also a 25 out of 25. My absolute favorite Mario Party game, would play again.
Alright, so if you're keeping track at home, then you'll know that my score ended up being a 90 out of 100. And Atomizer, say your score?
My score ended up being a 91 out of 100. So this does mean we're at a bit of a contention point based on the point system he mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so A tier is 76 to 90, which is where I'm at. I think it's a top tier game. It's at the top of A tier, but I don't think it's S tier. And now you put yours at 91, which is the bottom of S tier.
Yep,
so
91 out of 100
so the way
S tier.
91 to 100 is S tier, and he picked 91, so he's within the S tier. Now, one of us is going to have to give on this, because the way this show works is we're going to decide definitively what our joint opinion on these games are. We can settle in the middle if we're really big opinion differences, like if one of us is like A tier and one of us is D tier, we can settle on like a C or a B.
Yeah.
We can settle in between, but we need to choose which one we're gonna stick with. So I'll start with my arguments. So opening arguments, as if now we're becoming a debate show. So Mario Party 7, although it is a really good game and one of my favorites from my childhood, I don't think I would put it in the top echelon of games. I'm not gonna put this like amongst some of the legends of gaming. It is really good, and I personally, on my like personal tier list of games I enjoy, I might put it as an S tier. But if I'm thinking of the overall gamer, like, I feel like there are plenty of other games that the modern gamer would enjoy more than Mario Party 7. I'm not sure how much a modern player, like a person who's just starting up this game, would enjoy this game. I think it's an A tier. I think it's really close to S tier, but I don't think it would hit the S tier for me.
Alright, now from my side of the story. So, I really enjoy Mario Party 7 altogether. I think it's an amazing game that everybody should at least try once, just so they can experience peak Mario Party. Like, some people may argue, based on their bias, that Mario Party 6, or Mario Party 8, or Mario Party, I don't know, 4 was their, or even 3 for the N64 generation, like, was their favorite Mario Party. This was mine. This was the one I grew up with. I'm gonna, that might be what's turning it just a little bit, but honestly, just from how intuitive the game is, how fun it is to play, the replay value, all of it, my personal opinion is that it should be, while not the best, it should be at least in the bottom of S tier.
Well, I mean, I could see for a personal tier list putting it at S tier. I just don't know if I would, like, I don't know if I would put it on an overall tier list as S tier for the quality of the game itself. I think for me, the biggest downside is the solo play mode. Like, I don't know, I just didn't really have fun with it. Like, as a multiplayer game, I could see it being S tier, but if you're including every single aspect of the game, I don't personally believe it should be in S tier. It should be close to S tier, but I think A tier is where it belongs.
Honestly, I can see where you're coming from with that. And while I do believe it should be an S tier, that is my personal bias speaking, like I just said. So, if we're going overall, I'm just going to say it one more time. It is a Mario Party game. So, based on that, I am willing to knock it down a notch into A tier. Because I do agree with you on that.
Alright, perfect. So, there we have it. It's top of A tier. Tippy top of A tier. The best A tier game you're going to find. At least so far.
Yeah,
we'll see if anything else comes
in the
close,
series.
but that was our personal score on the save file scoreboard. So now comes choosing the next game. So none of you may realize this if you saw Atomizer's stream or my videos, but the results of our previous Saturday stream, the one where we played Mario Mon and 2 games of Pokerogue, was a best 2 out of 3, where whoever won 2 out of those 3 got to choose the first game for the podcast. And if you were paying attention, that was Atomizer.
Yep, while Gyroid did beat me in Mario Mon, I did take the win in both Pokerogue runs, so that got me the privilege of choosing Mario Party 7.
Yep, and so now we are going to take turns after that to pick the next game. And before this podcast started, I was sitting here with a random game generator for the Nintendo GameCube and generating games until I saw one that piqued my interest. And I've never heard of this game, but it sounds good from the couple of Reddit reviews I read. Next week's game is Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy 2003.
Star Wars Jedi Knight. You know what? I think they actually have this game as a remake on the eShop for the Switch.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I don't have a Switch anymore, so I didn't realize.
No, I got
Yeah.
Like, I heard of it in the Direct a while ago. Like, I might have to look into that, actually, like, for next week.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this game, but I saw it on the randomizer, and I was like, let's look into this game. And it seems interesting enough.
Like,
people seem to enjoy it, so we're gonna try the first in the Jedi Knight series. Apparently, there's more of them. I know there's at least a 2. I think there's a 3.
So it's the first game then.
Yeah, we're playing the first game, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy.
Okay, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yep, so tune in next week where we will review a game that neither of us have played this time. So no personal biases getting in the way. Star Wars Jedi Knight,
No
Jedi
personal
Academy.
bias.
Yep. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We have a Patreon that we are going to be starting up. I am currently working on it. It will hopefully be out by the time this podcast episode releases. Tentatively, I'm going to try to get patreon.com/savefilescoreboard. We'll see. I'll link it in the description of this video or podcast, wherever you're listening to this now.
It'll be my first
And
ever
I am
edited video going onto the Patreon.
Yes, we are going to be releasing our gameplay of the games that we play for the Save File Scoreboard podcast onto the Patreon. So, my 4 games that I played and Atomizer's 7, you said?
Yep.
7 games
Lost one,
are
won
gonna go
6.
are gonna go on the Save File Scoreboard podcast Patreon. And so, if you want to see more of us, you want to see our gameplay with our commentary, go join over on Patreon, and we'll hopefully be releasing more content for that soon. I'm not really sure what we're gonna do. I haven't actually even made it yet, but the plan is going to be release the video version on YouTube, release a podcast version on Spotify and Apple, and release a Patreon with our gameplay. So make sure to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or whatever. I think there's something to do on Spotify. You can I think it's 5 stars as well. I don't really know.
So. I don't really use Spotify all that much.
Yeah, but if you're on one of those platforms, make sure to give us a good rating and give us a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube.
Before we go though, I should say, if you like what you see here, we have videos and streams of ourselves. Be sure to like and subscribe to Jyware Gaming, as well as myself, Adam the Atomizer. He releases videos every, Saturday?
I release videos semi-often.
I gotcha. Well, I know this is going to be a Saturday series.
Yeah. We're going to be releasing these podcasts on Saturdays. And we stream on Atomizer's channel on Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern Time.
And aside from that, I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, in addition to the Saturdays at 6 a.m. So, if you like what you see and like what you heard, be sure to like and subscribe to Gyroid, like and subscribe to myself. And with all that being said, we'll see you in the next week. Catch you later.
See ya.